And I hope that their first child be a masculine child.
Much like the Rhythm Nation, the Nation of Jack. I don't know much about Janet Jackson's music, but yeah. Anyways, Erik, we are gathered here together again today to do a thing that we do far less frequently than we usually attempt to do because our schedules are just not easy to manage.
And why Erik does so little homework, and why Jack seems so much better prepared for these.
Yeah. What you need is a toddler, so that way you just don't have any free time, and then you're like, fuck, I need free time. So then you carve it out of your sleep time, and then you're like, well, I need to do this because it's the only time I have today to do it. And it like forces you, it time boxes you, to use a horrible corporate word. It time boxes your effort into like, I have to do this right now, otherwise I won't be able to do it for 3 days because I have to keep this hobbit-sized human alive.
Problems I still just don't even get sleep, but mine's with, it's either, trying to get money in business for the startup and design shit, get stuff built.
Have you ever thought of stripping?
Me. Well, it would be, I have considered, except the effort to get into that, I would have to looks max, which I think is still a topic for a future episode. I'm worried about.
So interesting you bring this up because, and you could, you're going to have to fix the Indiana hole in your mouth first, unless that might be a thing there. Like
for our listeners,
regional preferences that women in Indiana like a guy that doesn't have all of his teeth. It makes them feel more relatable and down to earth.
Or I lost my insurance, so I had to switch to meth. But yes, for our listeners, my crown fell off. So if there's some lispiness this time, that is why.
I'm trying to think of a joke, but I've got nothing. Something about a woke king. I don't know.
It's a Friday. Or a meth king. Yeah, I don't know.
The meth king of Indiana. That should. I'm pretty sure that's
there is one.
I'm pretty sure you can win that at the state fair every year. They give you a tank of propane.
Probably something in Martinsville at least.
And all the anhydrous ammonia you can pull home. Oh God,
Lifted
I remember
Sudafed.
Like when all of the farmers around where I grew up suddenly had like locks, and they'd hire somebody to like camp out by their anhydrous tanks whenever they bought fertilizer, because they're like, yeah, meth heads will just come here and steal like my 3,000 gallon tank of ammonia to make meth. It's like, damn, dude, it's insane.
Yeah. Science will just add cocaine and pills like civilized people.
Yeah, I mean, can you just smoke weed and maybe eat some mushrooms? It doesn't matter which mushrooms. Some of them might kill you.
But it's like, actually, I think that's
what we call a learning experience. And listen, I mean, we all want to return to tradition. So how do you do this? You live like your ancestors. You go into the woods. And the very first guy to eat mushrooms didn't know what he was doing. He was just like, well, I'm going to watch what the animals eat. But maybe the same mushrooms that kill the animals don't kill you, and vice versa. So like eventually over a course of many people dying, they figured out that, these mushrooms over here, they kill you. These mushrooms taste like beef, and those mushrooms over there make you see Odin.
It's like, that would be an interesting thing for future episodes, like on a history of masculinity. Who was the tribes like? Did they make it sound? Did they just take somebody they really didn't like, but kind of like fluffed him up, right? And gave him like some high priest type sounding job title, like they do in the corporate world, VP of whatever.
He's the senior vice president of synergy for the tribe.
Exactly, yeah.
Your job is to figure out which mushrooms taste the best.
Yeah, senior vice president of like edible exploration or something, I don't know.
Of new edible opportunities.
Yes. It has a high turnover, but it's a place of honor.
It's the fail son of the chief. It's like, we have the good son over here, and then we got this worthless fuck.
They offered him a lot of stock options,
What are stock options for a tribe of like prehistory humans?
Doesn't matter because he's going to die, so you never have to pay out anyways.
Here are all these beaver pelts. Yeah. You get all of them if you don't die. That's your goal. You don't die from eating the wrong mushrooms. It's kind of like the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
And you just set a long enough vesting period that there's no way that guy makes it to that point.
He's
a lot of crossover. I feel like there's historical, background.
It's because we live under patriarchy,
with.
and the corporate world is very structured by patriarchy as well. So,
Well, I guarantee you the matriarchal tribes, too, that job was still a dude. Like, I just feel like...
Oh, yeah. Why would you waste a woman on something that dangerous?
Well, exactly.
You got all these dumbasses who want to act tough. Like, okay, tough guy, go eat one of the mushrooms.
Yeah.
You think you're so tough? You're so big and bad? Go eat that mushroom over there. See if it kills you.
Yeah, so it's like patriarchy or not. Like, that was a dude.
Yeah. I mean, men have to be useful for something, and it apparently is figuring out which mushrooms kill you. That's my lesson of history.
Well, let's pour one out, everyone, for our, forebears. Well, actually, nobody's ancestor,
my five
for
bears.
obvious reasons. But shout out to those great uncles, who lost their lives in the service of humanity.
Do you think what's the girl's name from the something in the Three Bears? I think she was like
Goldilocks?
my three bears. Goldilocks and the three. She's like we're like our four bears. I think she was like my three bears. Actually, I saw a thing about
toddlers and having kids.
We are 6 minutes into this and still not talked about what our show is. So if you've made it this far, congratulations. I would give you a sticker if you were with me. If you were with me, that'd be really strange because I'm alone in my house. But
subscribe to our Patreon that doesn't exist yet, and we will sell stickers.
I will sell Gold Star stickers. And yeah. Anyways, if you can tell us all the things we talked about in this segment, it'll be like an accelerated reader test only for the podcast, and I will buy you a pizza from Noble Romans.
We need bingo going forward.
Bingo. We are not old enough for bingo. That's like canasta and shuffleboard. They check your AARP card before they let you play. We are Jack and Erik. We are the hosts of Annoyed Masculinity. It's a podcast where we talk about the things that annoy us about the current state of masculinity and culture, mostly on the internet. Basically the narratives around what it is to be a man, masculine, and how we think that there's a lot of cucked soy ideas coming from people who like to call other people cucked and soy, but they are in fact themselves cucked and soy. And we have better ideas because, I don't know, why are you listening to people on the internet about this shit? Go out and touch grass. Eat some dirt. It's good for you. But we do this because I harassed Erik until he said he would.
And then continuing to harass me to do my homework better, but yeah.
It's because we don't like the idea of living in a world where it is to be masculine or a man is defined by a group of individuals that include alleged sex criminals, people who are objectively weird dorks, grifting hustle bros, and techno-fascists. The men that we knew growing up would look at these dweebs and not see men, but, small effete children walking around in dad's shoes, playing at the idea of manhood instead of just being a man. And we do all this not because we were bored. Well, maybe sometimes because we're bored, but mostly because the idea of ceding the idea of manhood to these dork-ass losers is just untenable. And so we're going to use whatever we can in terms of our voice and our reach to offer just an alternative idea of what it is. And if you like it, great. If you don't like it, stick around and maybe you will. Maybe you'll hear some things. You'll like, there's another way. And like the clouds will part and the light will shine down to get the God rays that you have to have the nice GPU to get, like, all that.
Or just hate comment on things so we get engagement.
I mean, any kind of engagement works, right? So, yeah, just do all those things. And don't listen to the stupid opinions of Andrew Tate, Joe Rogan, or Jordan B. Peterson. Though, I'm not sure if Jordan B. Peterson is irrelevant anymore. He seems to have succumbed to the mold that he lives in. Oh, I need to find somebody else to replace him with. Clavicular? What's that dorky 20-year-old's name who can't, like, his brain freezes and he blue screens whenever someone talks to him.
See, you're like more online than me.
I am.
I know a lot of dorky 20-year-olds, but like...
God, I mean, so that's the thing. If you were 20, you were dorky. Just how it is. He's like the head looks maxing guy who's like beating himself in the face with a hammer. Like, I joke about hitting myself in the head with a hammer, but not to look good. It's just to talk about, make jokes about brain injuries. Some idiot on the internet who I am upset that I know his name even, but the thing that is coming to mind is the meme. Well, it's become a meme of like him, Andrew Tate, and some other people at like some club in Miami asking them to play the Hitler song. And they're like, haha, we're so funny. Haha.
And what's the Hitler song? Like,
Erik, don't go on the internet. Just ever.
So it's like a song about Hitler, or it's like
it's
we're
a
talking
Kanye
Nazi
West
songs
song. Is a Kanye West song.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you do know.
Yeah. So that one I do know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, we're talking like the Horse Vessel lead here or something, or Erica. But anyways, continue.
But yeah, so it's there was some video of them like they thought they were cool, and everyone else is like, "You guys are huge dorks." And then like some girls came up to talk to him, and he completely like it was like watching someone have a human blue screen. Like he just can't exist in the normal world because like the rest of these dorks, their entire interaction with everything is through a phone screen, where they talk very tough, and they have decided to look good through the lens aperture of an iPhone, which oddly enough is a different curve than that of your eye. So if you look good, if you like optimize whatever your appearance is for a phone, you'll look weird to normal ass people, like because the lens doesn't look like what your eye sees. Yeah. So it's like congratulations, you have made yourself look good for the male gaze, which you claim to not be homosexual. I don't care if you are or not.
Yes, that's why dudes work out. Like we've talked about this before.
Well, I work out because I like picking up heavy things. I eventually want to upgrade to the trapezoidal weights from the cartoons.
But it doesn't feel good. That's like when you do start getting bigger, get them in shape, like you're never going to get credit for that from like random women. But random dudes, when you get a compliment from them, like it's pretty sweet.
I beg to differ. In one case, you have to have a kid though.
Okay, well you play that.
So like I do this weird stuff with my daughter where like I'm strong enough to just pick her up like one-handed and like hold her where like she's holding on to my arm like up here and her legs are down here and she's like planked. And I'm just like walking around like that. And my wife's like, "You are a lot stronger than me. I can't do these things." Like, yep, I am. I pick up heavy things. I'm also like a foot taller than her, so it'd be weird if I wasn't stronger. But today, Erik, since you didn't do your homework, you had like a fucking month to do it. No, you copied off mine, and
I didn't even read yours, dude. I saw something about this long paragraph about Aragorn and was like, I'm not reading this. So
good, because I'm going to read it.
I know you will. So that's why, like
today, because we've spent a lot of time talking about the shit we do not like about masculinity, at least in its current popular concept. But today, we're going to talk about some things that we do like about masculinity. That's what we're going to do first. See, you didn't read the homework.
Did I copy? If I copied, it wasn't copying. If I duplicate anything, it just must mean it's true.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not even looking at the online notes. I'm looking at the one on my computer because Proton does not have dark mode for its documents.
No, you will see that I definitely.
And I can see that your screen reflecting off your glasses, and I have done the smallest amount of work to give some type of aesthetic riz to my space when I record these things. And you've just got horse porn on the walls behind you, so
yeah. It's
called
Riz.
Ode to Human Claw.
I didn't even know that we're like showing people these. That's why I always look like shit. I don't know. See, here's more horse porn.
Why would I record?
That's
why would I buy the software that records stuff? If
I don't know. There's Aaron Burr's signature because I don't like losers. You know, and he was a proto-feminist.
That is a strange flex.
Yeah, I don't miss.
I'm not sure. I
don't put losers on my wall.
Fucking Alexander Hamilton, fuck that guy. Can't hit the broadside of an Aaron Burr.
But he was actually like a good example in some ways not. Aaron Burr, like he was a complex individual. But story for another time.
That's what we say about historic racists that did one good thing once.
Well, but here, have you read about but he believed in, he was an abolitionist, but he also believed in educating women the same as men.
He didn't think that women could do math or witches?
Yeah, exactly. So
his daughter is oddly progressive for the founding fathers.
Yeah, his daughter Theodosia, who Hamilton.
That's a pretty dope ass name.
We'll talk about it later. But
was she banged Hamilton?
Did
you say she banged Hamilton?
No.
Oh, okay. She would have been a lot cooler in my book if she did.
I'm glad I had this before the musical, so I think it went up in value.
Only thing I know, because I haven't seen the musical, the only thing I know about Aaron Burr comes almost entirely from two places. A milk commercial from the 1990s.
Aaron Burr. I should do that right now. It says,
like the guns, the bullet, and the Assassin's Creed game that takes place during the Revolutionary War. I think he's in that.
Well, what you should read about is how he was very interested in the works of Mary Wollstonecraft.
I do not know who that is.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, to any women listening, just so we know, at least Erik is interested in feminist history.
We know that Erik is a performative male. What you can't see is his giant gallon of matcha and his bell hooks autographed collection.
No, I'm a D3 rugby legend, self-declared.
There we go. He didn't say it; he declared it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're going to talk about, first thing we're going to talk about, we will talk about things from literature and other media. But first, we're going to talk about what we like about masculinity. And since you didn't do your homework, I'll go first so you have time.
I did it. I did it, kind of.
But do you mind if I go first? Do you want to go first?
I would like for you to go first.
Okay, cool. So I picked two main areas that really kind of like, when I think about myself, for almost all of I've had the concept of what the kind of person I want to be. Like, I want to be someone who can provide for those he cares about, and someone who, not necessarily physically, though that's included, but a safe harbor, a protective space. When you're with me, you can be at ease and not have to worry about being harmed in whatever kind of way, which are hallmarks of typical traditional masculine traits, right? And you hear about this from the people who we think have just dumb ideas, and their way of doing it is really the devil's in the details, right? So I just decided to go list the ways that I think about how I do these things. So in terms of providing, I love to cook. I have cooked probably 95% of our meals since we've been married, even before then, because we lived together for several years before we got married. My wife is a wonderful cook. She does not enjoy the act of cooking. And so I'm just like, fuck it, I'll cook. I like doing this shit. And at first I was bad at it. And there were a couple times where she's like, I'm absolutely not eating this. You can get salmonella from this raw ass chicken, but I am not. Like, I followed the instructions. We don't need to cook it anymore. I used to be a little bit of a toxic shithead.
No.
I've gotten better.
Everyone is when they're young. That's why we have to. I always say we need to extend
what testosterone
grace.
does to you.
Yes.
You pressure cook your brain in testosterone for a decade, and you don't have a good outlet. You're gonna be a weird dork that's hostile to people for no reason.
And that's why I'm here as the voice of grace, because it's like, I'm going to come down too hard on them. There's
I
still
didn't say anything mean or rude. This is the softer, gentler, kinder. Yeah,
not yet. I was just preempting.
I've been far more inflammatory.
No, I was like, I'm just.
We have to edit out some of the things that I've said about young men these days because redacted aren't necessarily a bad thing. We got to edit that out.
I just like to forget again the environment in which we met, but working out bombs over Baghdad.
Different time. It was a different time. Listen, I don't want to hear anyone talk about the Iraq War like the entire fucking Congress, save Bernie Sanders and that fucking weirdo in Texas, Ron Paul, didn't vote to do the damn thing. All of America was fine with it. It's not like there was, like, yes, there were protests, but nationally polling, everyone was like, yeah, fuck that guy. Because we're dumb Americans. But we're very bad at admitting we're dumb Americans. So we're like, no, we were totally against that. No, that's why that song was popular. I mean, that was Andre 3000, man. So when Andre 3000 is writing songs about bombing Baghdad, then it gets picked up as the popular music. And like, yes, we're not going to look for a message he's trying to give us here, but we're going to totally blare that music all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love Outkast. I was just saying, you and I met in a military environment where we'd be working out in the morning, like, with that blasting and stuff like that. So, we've come a ways.
So back to it. I enjoy cooking. I thoroughly enjoy cooking. I love to make stuff that my wife likes, especially I like knowing that I've made something she likes. I like watching her like it, if that makes sense. I enjoy being able to help share that kind of like domestic maintenance of life in our house with her. She doesn't like to. I enjoy it. Why not? In fact, when my daughter is old enough to start dating, one of the things, I'm not going to tell her like, oh, date this kind of boy or that. I'm not even going to tell her to date boys. If she wants to date girls, I don't care. It's whatever. Date who you love, kid. One of the things is like, listen, if they cannot cook you a 3-course meal, they're a waste of your time from scratch. None of this box shit. I'm just don't even bother, because like the thing, and there's more to it than just like, first of all, it's a self-sufficiency thing. Like, you need to know how to cook. That's a like keep yourself alive kind of skill. But also, like, if they have paid enough attention to you to figure out what you do and don't like, how you like it prepared, all that stuff, they have listened to you talk about something that you enjoy that is fundamental to existing, and that's someone who's worth your time. So most stuff I like doing is, in terms of providing, I do a lot of our laundry. Because my wife goes to bed earlier than I do. So I end up doing most of our laundry. Along with the dishes, or along with cooking, I end up doing a lot of the dishes. I don't do as much cleaning around the house, but I do where I can. And I try to, as best as we can, split the load of caring for our daughter as evenly as possible. Years ago, we made a deal where I don't have to change the poop diapers, but I have to change the cat litter forever.
That's a fair trade, though.
Yeah, but she stops pooping in diapers eventually. The cat's never going to stop shitting in that box.
Yeah, that's a good point. But there's like, I guess you get used to it more as a parent. I mean, I'm assuming you do,
No.
but like, or you don't? Okay, I was gonna say, because that's
No, at least I
uniquely
haven't.
terrible. Like,
For me, it was actually very surprising because my wife has a much weaker stomach than I do, and I thought I was going to be fine with the poop, and it turns out that every time I have had to change one of her poop diapers, I have almost thrown up on her. Like, it has been in my throat. We are condition 1 vomiting, and so it has been like a near thing where I got it all wrapped up and taken care of before anything came out of my mouth. I haven't thrown up yet. I managed to choke it back down, but it's almost happened. My wife, no problem at all. I am very surprised by this because like dead animals, blood, gore, none of that stuff bothers me. Feces, no, can't do it. So no scat play for Jack.
there's something primal. My parents, when I was a little kid, used to make me like scoop poop, the dog poop in the backyard, especially if they were mad at me. And I would like puke. So you'd have like 6 or 7-year-old Eric just like barfing in the backyard.
Animal poop doesn't do it. It's only like human poop. And my daughter,
but dog poop's worse than cat poop. I mean, because it's not covered in litter. And I do get like the expensive litter that like, you know,
ask it whatever Costco has.
Bit more, yeah. So that my cat like gets better. I eat and drink Costco stuff, but like my cat gets
you poop in the Costco litter.
Things. I did. Well, sometimes it looks like I did. Like I got a big cat. Now it's something primal, so no shame in that. And I have a sensitive nose too, so that's why I'm a certified sommelier. I'm good at that, but it's a double-edged sword. Anyway,
sorry.
You can continue on to your point.
I heard a French word and my brain was like, what was that? So in other ways, under like the providing category, it's like, I like how I really, not just like, I love how my daughter trusts me. She's not like, I trust you, daddy, but it's like, she has never seen me as a threat or a source of harm or hurt. She has absolutely no reason to be afraid of me or to think that through action or interaction, she will come to harm when she's with me, which I just thoroughly enjoy. And my wife has brought this up. She's like, she is just fearless with you. Like, yeah, I've caught her many times when she almost like cracked her head open and thank God I was there. But yeah, she just expects to not be harmed while I'm around, which is fantastic for me. I love that. Back to like the maintenance of life type stuff. My wife and I, we strive to practice and model as equal of a relationship as possible. But even in that, I like knowing that my wife can rely on me, that she trusts me, and our shared sense of humor and all that kind of stuff just kind of adds to it. But it's just, these are all aspects of providing for people that have almost nothing to do with any type of physical violence or beating people up or anything. And there are things that you never hear. They're like the actual human aspects of being around a person. Like my wife and I have very similar senses of humor and we make each other laugh a lot and we trust each other with everything just implicitly. And our daughter is kind of grown into that as well. And you don't hear these type of things being talked about by the grifter, dude bro, manosphere. That's the word I was looking for. Manosphere types. But it's the stuff that actually makes a relationship with somebody fulfilling and enjoyable. And the other thing is protecting. I enjoy that my wife and daughter feel safe with me. I've said that before. I don't actively, go to protests or seek to intervene in bad situations, but my wife and I have created a safe environment for her, my daughter, and me to be ourselves. And that is a form of, emotional and physical protection. When we're home, we don't have to worry about, in the case of my wife or I, we're both bi, and until recently, the world seemed to be okay with queer couples. And though we pass pretty well, it's like when we're home, we get to just be ourselves and be normal about it. Whereas everywhere else, it's kind of a little like, can't make that joke, can't say that thing, I have to wait till we get home kind of thing. I actively promote and teach my daughter to stand up for herself and to develop her sense of independence and self-reliance. And that is a form of protection in that it's teaching her that she isn't some unfinished half of another whole that she needs someone else to complete in any way. Of course, like, it's nice to have a partner or however many partners you want, but it's something where her purpose in life isn't to be something else for somebody else. It's you can be independent and strong on your own without needing this other person or people, to care for you in any kind of way or for you to care to them, unless that's what you want. But it's not just an implicitly decided thing based on your gender that you are a girl, therefore you must be protected, and that's that. It's like, no. Go fuck shit up, girl. That's what you do. Those are things I like about masculinity. Providing and protecting, especially in ways that don't involve the ideas and concepts that you hear about mostly from people in the manosphere. So, Erik, tell me, what do you enjoy about masculinity?
Yeah, I mean, at least I didn't totally copy you. There is actually a good segue into my first one from where you were at, but this is where I do want to insert a minor. I don't want to call it a lecture, but how about history tidbits from Erik, following up with why you really gosh, oops, there's the tooth, guys. No, why you really should look deeper into Aaron Burr and his relationship with his daughter Theodosia, because I think, you know, a lot of what you're saying is actually like very similar to his relationship, except he and his wife, also named Theodosia, like recognized really early that their daughter was like gifted, as we'd say now, but really almost more at like genius levels.
She really likes trains.
Yeah, that's probably, you know, there's some around. But what they did though is, so early on, it was particularly her mom dedicated to her education. I mean, her dad fully supported it, but her mother passed away when she was like 10 or 11, somewhere around there, and so he raised her as a single dad, and continued with like the education. And I believe she was considered at the time, like, you know, maybe there's another one, but maybe they weren't as rich, so nobody knew. But like the first kind of fully educated woman in American history. So like, you know, grasped all the classical languages and French and English, probably others. And he actually wrote to her on a daily basis throughout, even when he was away, which was fine to him. Sometimes you'll see some excerpts of like letters where he seems quite critical, but it's actually in a sense of like, if it's like, no, this argument is actually because of this, or the spelling should be like this, and in like a constructive way, and lots of support. Yeah. The context is important, and really trust her, and that's where. And if you look up Mary Wollstonecraft, she was an advocate back in that time, so back in the 18th century, for educating women as men. She did a lot of writing, probably one of the earlier published women. But no. So I think for listeners, give Aaron Burr another chance. Look into this, because, you know, we just see him as the guy shooting Alexander Hamilton, and he did do that. And maybe he tried to take over Mexico. We don't really know for sure, like allegedly. But
I knew the dumb white boy imperialist was going to come out eventually.
Yeah, but he was a good dad, all right? Yeah. And he believed in educating women.
Whenever you say, yeah, this historical figure is complicated, it's always going to be, and then he went and did some white people shit eventually.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he was a feminist. He just did some white people shit later.
But in fairness, other white people from Spain were kind of like, still, it's hard to track the history of the various Mexican republics and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it was still like Spanish dominated at the time. So, you know, really, it's arguable. But anyways, then she died in a shipwreck, so that sucked. Yeah. So we'll continue.
And then she died.
And then she died. I mean, he did too eventually, but no, she disappeared. And there are legends about her being captured by pirates and all of this, but no proof.
What year was this?
So it would have been after the 1790s, early 1800s.
Oh, that sucks. I was going to say, is it possible that she made it down to like it would have been the Nassau Republic?
No, they thought she like. No,
I was hoping that she would have been like, and she allegedly died, but instead she actually, my headcanon was going to be that she made it to the Nassau Republic and then became a pirate. And
nah. But in 1812, she disappeared. They said if they did, they would have just tossed her overboard. But, you know, there are legends of her ghost in North Carolina. So if there is a ghost.
If she haunted me, I'd be like, can you tell me some weird stuff about old-timey trains?
And communicate with her in French. You know, you wouldn't talk to her in French.
I do not speak French. I barely speak English. So.
Nah, you're quite loquacious. Well, that's not the right word. I'm
just
loquacious.
Because I talk a lot, don't
you
mean
are
I
well
do it.
spoken. I am.
Just because I do it a lot doesn't mean I'm good at it.
Nah. I'm worse. But anyways,
it's
actually the
like
segue.
Me and running.
Yeah. Well, the segue from protection. This part actually I did see yours, and then I got to something about Aragorn and just stopped. But you're talking about providing.
I was like in a whole other section.
Protecting. I know, dude. It was like, well, when it's only your words on the page, it's easy to like see them for a while.
There's different headings.
Yeah.
They're bulleted. There's bolding.
whatever, bro.
And-
Like, at least I didn't just put it in ChatGPT or something, be like summarize.
I'm very glad no LLMs will use
Yeah.
on my part, at least during the creation of this.
But
podcast.
it is kind of an argument for AI when you're like, it's not AI because it was incompetent. So hey, this
Okay.
is.
If it was incompetent, I would assume it came out on it.
No. Anyways, as I think is providing, protecting, and I do want to, before I go on, is just say, we have an interesting dynamic at home with my wife, and she actually does, I'll admit, she does all the laundry. I have offered, for the record, but there is a touch of neurodivergence and being born in the Soviet Union.
She'd probably like chase you out with a broom.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, like, she thinks I'll fuck it up. I'm like, I live.
Get away from my washer before you break it, you oafish fool.
Well, exactly. I know. And I'm like, fine, I'll just do mine. She's like, no, you still. And I'm like, how do you think I survived? She's like, I don't know. Smelly. She's like, frankly, honestly, I really don't know.
Just bathed in the river, fully clothed.
Yeah. Sorry, and the cooking. I do grill and I do cook. And here's the thing, I can cook. So like occasionally there are more things in the kitchen that I'll do, but I just genuinely do not. I like grilling, like smoking things. There are types of cooking I like, but when there's various ingredients, you have to time multiple things. I'm very big about the timing being like exact. And so it does kind of stress me out a bit, and it doesn't bother her, but she also, my love language is very verbal. Hers is in like the act of doing. So that does lead to misunderstandings, but that's why I've been having these conversations more lately. And, for protection, it's funny that the first thing her mother ever said about me, and why I stopped asking, what did your mom just write? Because not only is her mom very critical of her, but the first time she sent her a picture of us like out on a date, her mom apparently said, he doesn't look like he can protect you. And I'm like, okay, first off, all right, I'm not the biggest dude, but I'm also not the smallest, and I'm taller than your husband, but my father-in-law Sergey. But for the record,
short king.
I'm 5'11" and 3/4. Okay, I can say 6, but also like from what? Like, is there a bear or something that's gonna pop out? Like, I don't freaking know.
They are from the Earls. That might be a culturally relevant thing for them. Like, how is this American going to protect you from bear?
But yeah, I'm like, look at
I'm sorry if that's offensive to fake that accent. Well,
I use all the time. She does not appreciate, but yeah, you're good. I think we can
racist accents with your wife. I'm glad you have. I'm glad she allows you to do that.
I was about to say it's not really racist because they're white. So like,
I think we have to remove that part.
Whatever. Anyways, we have like a different. We go against standard gender roles here because she is actually quite strong and she has no problem doing outside work too. I mean, I feel maybe as traditional gender roles, but really because she does a lot of the inside work that I should be responsible for the outside. But sometimes like I just like how it's hard for me to squeeze in this sometimes, like I'm late on stuff and she's out there. I don't even have to ask, like, picking up all these branches and everything like that, dragging things around, which is really good. So what I actually put is supporting and encouraging, because to stick with the relationship theme to begin with, is a lot of my role has been being kind of the cheerleader, right? We're supporting and helping, like kind of encouraging like a career change, but then guiding her through that and the stress. And, she's tough. She's been through a lot of hell. She moved over here in college and then her MBA, is living in another country, in a different culture, like since then, but it's still, new things are tough. And recently, without going into too much detail, like professionally, like many people, really got knocked on her ass and was down and feeling shitty about herself. And that's when, I had to really be like, look, I'm not talking to you as your husband right now or a coach or whatever else. Like, this is legit just like human to human, because I have been knocked on my ass like so many times and it sucks ass, and I feel you. And I know those thoughts that are going through your head that you're talking about, like being at this low point, and then really kind of encouraging, like, look, you keep thinking too far ahead. You got to take this one step at a time. And sometimes that's really just ultimately the act of purposeful generation, right? Like creation. Sometimes people will say, oh, you just got to start moving. And that's true. But like the essence of it is creating. So she'll watch these videos like on Instagram and stuff that she likes of people doing these crafts. And I've encouraged it, but she hadn't really done it. But then she'd really gotten into kind of these like clay flower making and painting and stuff like that. And I was like, look, if you do anything for me, just order all those supplies and get started, and things will legitimately start coming together. Now, I don't know if I mean that from a spiritual sense necessarily, that like the universe owes you for doing it, but it's just, I think even subconsciously, your confidence shows when you know that you are capable still of things. So if you're interviewing, or in any way you're presenting yourself, that helps you have more to talk about, and things start coming your way. And so when I'm kind of taking on a bit more of a role of like emotional support, like because I am the more sensitive one of the relationship. Well, I don't like saying that actually, because everybody is. It's just levels of repression. And speaking of patriarchal societies,
you're more outwardly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm verbal processor. But, speaking of the patriarchy, like she's really from Russia. And this is one of the main reasons she's against religion, is having dealt with like the Russian Orthodox Church as a young kid and experiencing the sexism there. And one time her like skirt was just a little too short. Like, and this is as like a prepubescent kid.
What
and
was that
not allowed
crazy ass
in
book you were
church.
telling me about?
Oh, the Domostoya? Yeah, like written by these like Orthodox priests back then. Well, yeah, and then this like, oh, she hates that we have this, but she'd feel bad getting rid of it because her friend's mom, who's much more traditional over in Russia, I guess is traditionally a gift. It's almost, I forget if it says like how much you're allowed to beat your wife, but let me just say it's along the lines, right, of like how the domestic like relationship should look. And it's illustrated. It's actually a beautiful book. So really like those classic like
wonderfully
Pushkin-esque.
beautiful cultural artifact that is telling you exactly how big around the rod you beat your wife when the borscht isn't the right temperature.
Yeah, I think like Boondock Saints there a bit, but also your servants. To be fair, like it says, how to beat your servants.
And I'm assuming you can have male or female or
Yeah.
non-binary servants.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I think even saying servants is generous for what they actually were back in those days in Russia.
Yeah.
But regardless, yes. So that's society, and you carry the wounds of it, right?
Sure.
But also from a supporting and encouraging standpoint, like talked a bunch about coaching. And season just started. Practice did, so that's also been eating up a lot of time. But I do get enjoyment out of it. I don't act like I don't. It is fun, but it is, especially all these other things going on, like it adds stress. But I do see it as really paying it forward. And as thanks to the older men that helped me in my younger years too, right? That took their time to do that. And helping guide, encourage. And as a coach, like there's certain skills I can teach, but I'm still more about the basics. But I'm still kind of like the pep squad like guy out there. And it's really just getting them to like believe in themselves, because so many times like you see the potential in people, but they don't see it in themselves. And that's same thing like at home or at work, because I think, and this is something that you can really extend this support and encouragement really anywhere, because another thing I take seriously is helping young people in the professional world. There's a young woman who's absolutely brilliant right now who saw a bunch of potential in, but she was working actually at my vape store. But this is how we met, got to know each other. But she just graduated with dual degrees in like English Lit and Africana Studies. It's not just African Studies, but then also minors in U.S. History and all these other things. And she was looking at do I go to grad school? She talked about writing. So I was like, well, send me your portfolio. And huge written portfolio, also unpublished research. So I started talking about market research, and where it's like, hey, yeah, this is where all of us that wish we were academics, but like need paychecks end up and sell our souls a bit. But let's make the intros and help teach. So, I mean, really, be they young men, be they young women, young non-binary. I think that, and oftentimes the blunt truth is that men still can have more influence sometimes, and a lot of times in the professional world.
Depends on the company and the culture.
The culture, yeah, but even like across certain industries, it seems like a lot of it comes down to a lot of these guys are golfing together or at the bar together, at night, like at conferences, and there's like certain circles. And I'm saying this is something that's been in predominantly female industries. Honestly, you still have a concentration of men towards the top. A lot of it's due to like egotistical, narcissistic impulses. But the point is, if you do have it, particularly if you do have certain leverage and influence, like using that in a positive way to help.
This is why if I ever become one of the in charge people, the only activity we are going to be allowed to do in my company is keg throwing. And you have to go out there and either watch me or join me throw kegs where we practice for the Highland Games.
Well, but then that's kind of patriarchal. Like,
there's women who throw kegs.
Yeah, but it is like your average man would be able to do it possibly better than a woman, which is kind of like
shit technique.
It's like the debate around golf, like at company events.
Yeah, but if you
I've got my ass kicked by
case,
women in golf, but still more men go than women, and so they feel cut out because they are cut out. Regardless, we'll circle back to that.
I'm going to find a woman who can throw a keg farther than you, and I'm going to.
They
exist.
And
every time this comes up, I'm just going to send you the video.
Oh no, they exist. I'm saying they exist. I'm a statistician too by trade, so I'm just saying. But again, I'm the one that knows all these women rugby players that I keep telling you to check out their matches because
in a very not creepy way. It is a very not creepy
way. And I will say this: anybody that's interested in rugby or any men that are starting to play, don't watch pro men's rugby. I mean, watch it for the entertainment, but don't try to learn anything from it because women at the pro level play better classic rugby than men. So Eric's on the record saying this.
They're probably on less gear too.
Well, nobody wears gear. Well, you mean drugs?
Yes.
Gear, okay. I was like, oh, there's no gear, Jack.
They just play naked, dick out and everything. Balls flapping in the wind like a goddamn mainsail.
It's been done. But the other thing is, and I know I circle back to rugby a lot, but another thing I enjoy about masculinity is just that genuine, like, camaraderie, bro time. And I know women can have girls' time. Bro time can include women bros, if you will. But I think what makes that guy time special, like sometimes, there's more aggressive stuff like rugby, but maybe just chilling on the deck, grilling and having beers and kind of talking about the world and our own issues. I think it's because it's kind of like a catch here, right? Because it's almost like that kind of man-to-man, like honesty and openness is so great because it's kind of rare, right? Not as encouraged, or it's because like we don't always feel safe or that we should like share, emotions or feelings or how you doing. Maybe it's kind of an exclusivity thing, if you will, or, it's kind of a safe space. But honestly, I just like enjoy hanging out with my dudes, be that like, some rugby after party or be it like having fantastic dinner parties, with my gay friends who I'm also trying to recruit for rugby because those dudes are stacked. Like, so I'm not.
Those are vanity muscles.
Does it? Well, some of these dudes.
Those aren't doing muscles. Those are vanity muscles.
Well, the guys that didn't come out after until they're like high school and college football days, like they got some real those dudes got some muscles. I'm looking at you, Milo. Send this one out there. But so I'm not saying this from like just straight dude time, right? Like
yeah.
But it's just with being with the guys and that camaraderie, which we could probably dig into what it actually means, but I like it. Like I just like chilling and kind of those like more special moments where, hey, or your buddy's going through some shit. Well, hey, let's just have the guys together and, maybe we only directly address this situation like one time and maybe we even make fun of him for it, but in a loving way. But
maybe just blow stuff up together.
Oh, yeah. But it's meant like it's through love. Like, we're blowing this up or burning this thing or getting just completely shit-faced out of support.
Aiming our trebuchets at the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
We're setting the car that's loaded into it on fire.
You know what? The guy that you're doing it for knows that it's out of love.
We are throwing this old Ford Fiesta a kilometer away out of love.
I mean, that's like, and if they go, that's the thing. You talk to the cops, there's some dudes like, like, look, okay, we only launched this Ford Fiesta off this cliff and blew it up.
I think you have plausible, like, officer, why do you think that we know anything about how a flying Ford Fiesta got anywhere? Like that trebuchet, it's a prop.
Well,
I can't
I'm
do it,
saying
you know?
not to get out of it. I'm just saying, like, even if you get arrested, like, you're like, hey, look, he's going through a divorce, like, all this is real bad, like,
He needed to blow off some
so
steam. He needed to destroy a neighborhood.
yeah. So he would the
We've all been there.
the cops would at least get it, right? Yeah, you'd still go to
They'd get
jail.
it. They'd be a little bit nicer when they're brutalizing you in the back
Yeah,
of the van.
yeah, exactly. So like,
They'd only break one of your arms.
yeah, and that would be out of like understanding. So
Yeah. Very loving break.
So yeah, that's
fair.
It's kind of a short and sweet one. And honestly, I really haven't probed into the depths of the reasonings. And, again, as a behavioral science dude, like I really like going into that. But that's like bro time, man.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at like.
This is bro time. Honestly, we like.
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it is like, yeah, we have a purpose and a point to it.
It's one of those things where like, because whenever you talk about bro time, like whenever you describe the things you like about it, like, yeah, that's how I know this isn't my gender.
I know.
But then when you talk about this being bro time, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, maybe this is a little bit of my gender. Okay. Yeah.
That's why I made sure
that's why I'm gender fluid. It just goes back and forth.
And I was inclusive. I said there can be, girl bros, and there are non-binary bros.
Oh my God. I love girl time so much better than
bro time. I love girl time too.
Unless we're blowing things up. Like, I don't want to do anything like the masculine dick measuring bullshit where all the machismo. No, I got no time for any of that because I can't hear any of you over the sound of how awesome I am. But if we're going to blow things up, I will always blow things up.
But I think you hit things on fire. True bro time isn't about machismo. It's about being like yourself with the guys, like in a certain environment for that. And so,
yeah,
there's time around bros and there's bro time. I want to distinguish.
Fair enough. In the words of two guys I enjoy on the internet, I bring a lot of divorced wife energy to the bro group. But no, I the thing that comes to mind for me that I miss, though I don't miss where it happened, after we were done for the day, especially like after we were done for the night, like we knew we didn't have anything else to do but go to sleep. Me, the guy I shared a can with, who's my best friend from those days and still one of my best friends, and another guy, when we were in Iraq, we were at Al Asad. Al Asad is a huge airbase and has like 4 or 5 different bus routes on it and like a 24-hour bazaar and all kinds of shit. Like 8, 9 o'clock at night, catch the bus, go down to the main commerce area of the base and hang out and get coffee and then like walk back and just bullshit on the way. It was very nice, very enjoyable.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it was a lot of like, not necessarily talking about anything substantial or deep or anything. It was just like, yeah, well, I'm stuck in this sausage fest. I might as well hang out with people I enjoy.
I mean, that's
and we all shared we had a shared kind of like I don't know, we got along more the three of us than we did with most of the other people in the platoon, and so it was like finally around somebody with some taste and sophistication. And meanwhile we're all from fucking Indiana, like we're all just a bunch of pumpkins anyways, so
yeah, I'd be like, I'm sophisticated, okay. Jack, cosmopolitan. No, but you see where I'm getting at. And again, I'm not trying to be exclusive. Like,
no.
But I'm like, okay, it's like I'm not quite to the level.
I knew female Marines who were like, another Marine who didn't know them would like start talking shit. I was just like, I'm going to turn around. Like, I don't want to be deposed. I don't want to have to like sit on the witness stand and talk about all the things she did while she was beating the ever living fuck out of you and making you understand exactly how wrong you are in your assumptions about female Marine. So I'm just going to go over here and you guys settle that. Preferably by you apologizing and walking away because she's going to beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, well, she's mildly afraid.
So yeah, and like because they have those things where like, I forget what they're really called. We called them a weenus, where it's like a thing for allow women to pee standing up because everything in the military is designed for men. And I swear to God, one time, one of the women Marines I was with said something about, well, it's a good thing my crotch is threaded. I can just screw in a Mountain Dew bottle or something. Jesus. Like, fucking excuse me?
Yes, no.
Like, it wasn't one of those, like, my delicate ears, but just like, Jesus Christ. That's a good one.
But I also think conversation for another time, and maybe with a future guest, is have a woman on that there is, you see this in the military, you see it in rugby, and there are just some of this is their true genuine self, but it almost seems like women in certain activities or groups or whatever also feel a performative need to a degree too, where I've met ones that Jack will tell me if this is controversial, but I think there's something to it, I've seen like in rugby, there are women that will like kind of like, they'll like talk shit, not in a fun like chirping way or something, or like they do things that is like they're behaving how they think men behave, right?
Oh, okay. It's not
It's
their
like-
natural inclination to be that way.
Yes. So, but they
Okay.
think of this environment, but dudes know where limits are. Dudes know, like, and it's like they somehow feel the pressure.
It's like Rolf.
Yeah, they become more toxically.
It's like Rolf from The Office when he's like talking about chopping off people's dicks and shit at the company volleyball game.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of. I mean, that's actually a good comparison. And you're like, no, you're actually. They have like they're acting more toxically masculine than these dudes that look like stereotypical bros. I'm like, I just had my buddy like rubbing my nipples gently and telling me he loves me in a genuine way. And yeah, then you're doing some like kind of asshole shit right now. So like,
and I'd like to remind everyone that Erik is straight. Allegedly.
Unfortunately, we've been through this.
Erik believes he is straight while his buddies rub his nipples and gently tell him he loves him.
Yes, but that's like, the straightest thing. You were a Marine, dude. Like, you know how this works.
Yeah. The gayest shit you'll ever see is the things straight
I
Marines
know.
do in their free time.
For sure, I am heterosexual, that I am straight, just because I so desperately would love to be. I would be so great at gay. And I always tell my gay friends, I'm like, look, I don't want to minimize like your struggles when you're young. Like that is horrible, especially at this age. However, as an adult, and I love my wife again. Thank you, Valeria, for everything. I appreciate you. However, like their lives are awesome. And like I know, and I have my like velvet slippers and robes and all of these. And like I have my collection of like ceramic arts and stuff recently.
Horse pornography.
Horse pornography as a gift for some of those friends. I found some vintage plates that were actually owned by, this is a weird thing, but the sister of Franz Ziegfeld, one of the founders of Broadway, Ziegfeld's Follies. So like that's pretty gay. Like that's kind of gay. And this is why
it's giving very closeted Donald Trump who loves show tunes in Broadway and musical theater vibes.
But I'm like trying to get into the closet, like it's not like I, feel like I need to stay in there.
You're the mean, let me in.
I know. Like that's where the party is, man. Like 7 minutes in heaven or something.
Here's the thing. When you see a dick, do you ever think, man, that thing looks fantastic?
Yeah, I mean, I can respect, a good one, but I'm not like, there's no attraction or need to like look at it more. It's just kind of more of a specimen thing, right? That's why I can say Jude Law is an absolutely beautiful man. And I'm going to talk
I've never seen his dick.
Jude Law a little later. I haven't, but I'm just saying as like a beautiful man, right? But not like, I don't want to like get with Jude Law. Like there's no sexual. I wish like
maybe I think
I just appreciate.
I think I'd definitely give old Jude Law a couple dates, a couple rounds. Not young Jude Law, and any age 18 or above of Ryan Gosling. Yes, that is just a beautiful man.
But it's just so no.
I've told my wife, like, listen, Ryan Gosling never just happens to be where we are and wants to go just share a beautiful night with me. It's going to happen. You just have to be okay with this.
I should understand. I mean, but with me,
and I'd invite her, and if he's down, I'd invite her too. There's no reason that they can't Eiffel Tower me. I mean,
And see, mine though, I'm like, I respect you guys are doing this, and that's cool. Like, hell, I'll be at the same party. Like, I'll even just be non-sexually naked. I don't know around
be on the cook stool.
Yeah, it's like I don't know that I'd want to watch though. Like I don't really.
This is my thing. This is my thing about the cuck stool. Like everyone's like, oh, the cuck school. Some people pay good money to sit on the cuck school.
No.
Some people pay lots of money to be cuckolded. So it's like, no, why? Like you're making fun of this person because of something. It's like, no, I paid to be here.
No, it's But here's the thing. I'm like, cool. I wouldn't do it. Not my thing. But I don't, I mean, that one's a little bit different. But the point is, I would go to the same orgy that you and Ryan Gosling would get together, but I just
fancy dress up tuxedo orgy.
And I would have the best fancy tuxedo.
You probably would.
Yeah.
Probably would. I would just
I don't look like it in any of these videos, but I do actually have, I do dress up nice.
That was part 1. We talked about things we like about masculinity. In part 2 of episode 5, we're going to talk about examples of positive, noble, etc. masculinity that we find in media, written, visual, whatever. So,
and you'll hear more about both Jude Law and dressing beautifully, like velvet slippers, because I am using the young Pope as one of my examples.
Is that the one with the vaping cardinal? I've
Yes.
Okay.
Have you ever watched the series?
No, but other shows that I listen to while I'm driving, they keep on talking about the vaping cardinal. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh, and that's
the
just
thing
like,
I've not seen.
That's just, you think that's like a bit odd or
Okay.
funny. Like it's we'll discuss. But if you like Jude Law, damn.
And we'll hear about Aragorn, son of Arathorn, chieftain of the Dunedain of the North, High King of Gondor and Arnor.
And another Erik who later went by the name George Orwell. But yeah.
Some other things. We're going to talk about the things we like.
I've got Heath Ledger in there too. What do you like? Well, it's basically not the Heath Ledger version. That's hard with his tooth, but I'd like to hear save your thoughts on him for later.
Okay. Probably.
It's also not the Joker. Come to think of it.
Thoughts on Heath Ledger? The guy who made me realize I was bi.
Yeah, I suspected. A Knight's Tale.
Oh God, beautiful man.
Yeah,
God, him and the female lead.
I knew it. I knew. As soon as you said that, I'm like, I can pinpoint the moment.
Really,
2004,
right? Her handmaid, like the woman who's her lady in waiting. The woman plays the queen, gorgeous, beautiful. But that French gal, Alan Tudyk, also fantastically beautiful man in there.
Paul Bettany's in there.
He possesses the kind of frantic anger that seems like he would just be an amazing fuck. At least that character.
But, and before we go though, who I do think is also who doesn't get the respect that he should for as a saying this from an objectively physically impressive and just I don't know, there's an aura about him is
young Robert Baratheon.
Well, no, Rufus Sewell. Not in.
Is he the fat guy in A Knight's Tale?
No, he's the it was like the Black Prince or.
Oh, that guy.
He was in
Buddy.
Man in what is it? The Man in the High Tower most recently, but
No, he doesn't play the Black Prince of Wales. The guy who plays the Black Prince of Wales is in Rome, where he plays.
He's one of the nobles.
He plays Mark Antony, and he hangs dong, and he hangs dong.
Oh yeah, you're thinking of another. Yeah.
But no, the guy who plays the Black. You're talking about the guy who the villain.
Let me look it up.
He's one of those guys like, God, you'd probably be so mean to me, but I'd let you for a couple weeks at least.
He always plays like Phil, but for some reason I thought, yes, Count Adamar, yes, the villain in that. Played in that series. He's really good at like those kinds of roles. But
he's got very pretty eyes.
Yeah.
He's killer cheekbones.
He's good looking.
But again,
dude.
He's got like just like the face is like, God, you'd be so mean to me and I'd like it.
Yeah. I mean, it was like that. I don't women that have that vibe too, where you're like, this is a bad idea, but
Yeah. It's like, oh, she's definitely not stable enough.
Well, all I know is those eyes and high cheekbones are how I smoked my first cigarette at age 13. Because bad girl that I was hanging out with, but yeah, stories for later.
Indeed. Thank you, everybody, if you made it this far through our rambling and our pontification about what it is to be, what we think about masculinity and manhood. You can find all of our stuff on the various places in our show notes. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us. Join us next time. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever the things, or don't. I don't care. In fact, don't listen to anything that some dude on the internet tells you to do. Go do shit because you want to, because you like to, because you feel like that's the good you. Yeah, that's my advice. Don't listen to any man on the internet, especially a white guy with a microphone.
Protect, support, encourage. I love you, brother.
Love you, brother.
Talk soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Annoyed Masculinity. This has been an Annoyed Media production. Thoughts and ideas expressed during this episode should not be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. We are not therapists. We are just two guys bullshitting on the internet. Our opinions do not reflect the official positions or ideas of our employers or business partners. You can find more of our work on Substack, Instagram, and Blue Sky under @AnnoyedMasculinity. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember to be awesome to one another.